We did those Allstar teams, and Kyle lost by 20. Just saying.
The first time on rookie.
Start covering the mic. Kyle,
Hey, what's up? Hello. What's going on?
Who the fuck is this guy? Yo, I saw that. I was watching old YouTube videos the other day. I ran into the Hodge twins. Do you remember those guys?
Oh, I did. They're super right wing now, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're got conservative twins.
They went right into it.
Yeah, they got clearly something in their life triggered them to make them go super political. That now they're a political channel. But anyways, I pulled up old Ask Hodge twins. YouTube videos to show Hope what was going on, and obviously she didn't like it.
I can't imagine her not liking a video more than the Hodge twins.
It was just funny because I forgot how cringe they were.
Yeah,
because you watch their early stuff, the stuff that I first saw when I was a teenager, and they're coming in the video doing this whole showing off their fucking jawline. Get the fuck out of here. Every single video.
Fuck off.
The first time, I remember thinking it was funny. Then I realized that this is how they start every video. I was like, oh my god.
It gets old real fast.
It gets old so... Especially today, got so fucking old so quickly. It was really tough.
Yeah. Speaking of old internet sensations that we watched back before they got big, our boy Bo Burnham. He is going to be starring in HBO is putting on I think it's a mini doc on the 80s Lakers, and they've got Bo Burnham starring as Larry Legend. Larry Bird is played as Bo Burnham.
Stop. What?
Yeah.
Now, okay, you're saying documentary. Do you mean real life, based on true story, biopic? Or are you talking about full documentary? How does Bo Burnham fit in?
It's biopic because it's like everything. It's based on the true story, but there's obviously a lot of wiggle room.
Okay, now I have an immediate objection.
Yeah,
I love Bo. If anyone doesn't know, Bo's been an icon. He's been a legend, and honestly, Bo's pseudo role model for me for a long time.
Yeah. He's got to be one of the first real internet sensations that because if anybody hasn't seen, look up Bo for Show. He's got so many, but he basically started same as Philip DeFranco and different guys. It's just in his bedroom. He started recording songs, and he was just brilliant and kind of he'd go off the beaten path. He wouldn't just make fun of normal shit. He'd bring in Santa Claus and his elves and the leprechauns. He'd bring up every little thing, and he was just lyrical genius.
Phil's more of a news guy, but the idea of this old time YouTube, bringing it to a modern audience and still being around after this long, absolutely. The thing too, I just remember finding Bo Burnham for the first time, and it was Rehab for Fictional Creatures or something like that. And I think I remember the first day I showed you that, at my house, we literally sat there and watched Bo Burnham pissing our pants for at least 2.5 hours.
You can still, if you go back, even if you've seen them, if you rewatch them, they still kill you. So in the biopic, he's supposed to be playing as Larry Bird, because obviously Lakers, Celtics. This is the 80s Lakers is supposed to be with Magic Johnson, Kareem. So Magic and Bird had a huge rivalry through college and then led into the NBA.
But how does anyone take Bo seriously as a competitive athlete? He doesn't look athletic, and that's kind of been half of his joke, is that he's an unathletic white kid.
But look at Larry Bird. He doesn't look like he's an he looks like an 80s athlete, which was somebody that could run.
No, I'm just laughing in my head already because I'm just thinking of Bo Burnham, skinny white Bo, in his fucking old Celtics high shorts, maybe a little tummy out, maybe he's got a small shirt, and him talking shit.
Yeah.
And being hilarious, because that's going to be part of it.
That's going to be a huge part.
That's comedic
what
timing.
Larry Bird is a shit talker.
Yeah.
He's a professional bucket getter, but his side hustle was shit talking.
Yeah, so he's going to have to be funny, because that's probably why he got hired. But then thinking of skinny white guy, and then they're like, Bo's just gonna have that dumb look on his face as he just like drops 3, and I'm supposed to be like, he's nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to swallow.
Yeah. Well, as well, we haven't really seen him too much since the YouTube days, but he has produced different movies. He's been in different films, so I'm sure his chops have gotten a little bit better by the fact that he's getting this, and it's on HBO, so it's not going to be some kind of slouch show where it just gets released on Netflix on day of kind of thing. So I think it's going to be good.
I'm excited for that. I did not know that was coming up.
They've actually got a good list on here. I'm just going to look up, because Variety is where I saw it. But so big names, well, names that I don't know, but then I'll get to the big names. A guy named Quincy Isaiah. Shut up, Quincy.
Show me his
playing
face.
Magic Johnson.
I've never seen that guy in my life.
Solomon Hughes is playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I hope he's tall, because I've never seen him before either.
Bo is Larry Bird.
That's
clearly they're the same person.
That's gonna be hilarious, man.
Then Adrian Brody is playing Pat Riley.
Okay,
which that's fair.
I could see that. That's a good one.
Michael Chikils.
Do you know who that guy is?
That's the guy from Breaking Bad.
Do you know
Shield, maybe, I don't know.
He's also in the old Fantastic Four movies. He's Ben Grimm, the Thing. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that. Then John C. Reilly is playing Jerry Buss, the owners.
Well, that's a gross casting, but okay, we're here.
And then Jason Segal is the assistant coach. Paul, what's
Interesting.
that? So they've got a couple like not big names. They basically got like B+ stars. Where it's their cult favorite. Every one of them has a show that they've been in that's a cult favorite, or a show that they've created.
Now, this is do you know exactly which years this is gonna take place?
It's through the 80s.
Through the 80s, so do you think they're gonna cover multiple years, or do you think they're gonna aim at maybe one particular season?
I would assume that they'd go through a couple, because like you can't really, like, especially if they're bringing in the Celtics, you can't really build that rivalry just in one spot, because like through the actual, in the NBA, they had their big rivalry of being the two best players in the NBA. And then I'm assuming they're going to talk about Magic Johnson getting AIDS, being off, and then coming back, and how like impactful that was. So I'm sure it's going to be through the 10-year, probably the decade of it.
Because what I'm thinking is, because I'm a Marvel guy and I love my cameos.
Yeah.
Any chance there's going to be like a baby Michael tease at the end of end of one of the seasons?
They're going to be like, this kid's coming to take over the league.
Yeah, or like there's going to be like the season's going to end and it's like, oh man, what a crazy year it was. Glad that was over. And then it's like flash forward to like that first training camp. Baby Michael's just like getting ready to be a killer.
Yeah, I could see it. It'd make sense.
That'd be low key sick.
But
like it would be like I don't know. I'm just like envisioning that kind of thing in my head. I'm like, that could be fucking dope.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got options, because I don't know as much if they might do it, but it's not as much of a, because through HBO, I don't know how much of it is going to be just an actual sports documentary as much as they're going to try and dramatize it. Because like if it was like an ESPN 30 for 30, that would definitely be like the side plot is you see this kid coming up and they're like, okay, we put in our work, but this guy's on our tails at the end, blah blah blah. But being HBO, I can see them dramatizing it a little bit more and just focusing on the off the court things, and just basketball. Everybody knows the Showtime Lakers. Everybody knows Larry Legend. He had like a game where he decided he wanted to shoot with his left hand and he put up 30 plus points.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that kind of stuff. They're going to probably talk about a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, especially with like Jerry Buss and the owners, and probably expose some of the secrets they probably got.
Can you imagine this just being like some kind of like soap opera or something like that? It's like none of these things actually happened, or maybe they did. It's just like super dramatized.
Yeah,
like, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah, I'm still watching it. You can turn into Game of Thrones. I don't give a shit. I'm watching.
Yeah,
especially with our boy Bo.
I would watch the shit out of that. Absolutely, that sounds awesome. I didn't even know that was coming.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, I got my ears to the floor.
This guy.
I sit on Twitter a little too much.
Do you know what I've been seeing on the internet that's making me die? Lil Nas X.
Oh, that's sick.
This guy is such a troll.
Oh man.
Okay, so for those of you,
I think he heard your poem. You heard your poem and he took off with it. He's like, this kid had the right idea.
So, for those that don't know, this guy made a song and he made a music video recently. Montero, I think he called it. And it's got a lot of satanic imagery. I think at one point he gives like the devil a lap dance.
Yeah, I was like, the only thing I saw was a screenshot that looked like he was taking it from the D.
And he's just dancing for him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Either
he's
way.
giving him like a lap dance.
Okay.
And then he goes out and he releases a new Nike shoe covered in satanic imagery, 666.
The Satan.
Yeah, and he releases that. And honestly, it sells out in less than a minute.
Yeah.
But you know what? He wins for so many reasons.
Yeah.
First off, no one like myself was gonna go watch a Lil Nas X music video.
No.
I didn't even like Old Town Road. I don't like his music. I don't care for his music. It's just not my style.
I liked his tits, but...
Flashback to that. But, so why would I go look for him? Only because he pissed everybody off and I wanted to see what the hype was about. Now all these normies like me are going to Lil Nas X to look at his video. He's getting all these views, getting all this ad money. He's making money off this now.
And one pretty significant detail you missed about these shoes is that there's 666 pairs, all individually numbered, but they all have one little drop of human blood in their soles.
Yeah.
In their soles,
forgot about that part.
not in the thread. There's a specific reason he put human blood in the soles of his Satan shoes.
Yeah. He really went in on this whole, like...
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Like,
now...
For me, real quick on this, for me, the human blood is a step above where I would go, but the rest of it, like, everybody's, like, freaking out, like, how can you have this? Like, that's so... It's, like, satanic and this and that. It's the exact same thing as having a religious shoe. There's no such thing as Satan. There's no such thing as God. It's just a made-up shoe for people to look at. You add the blood in there. That's where it's like, okay, this guy's... That's culty. That's a little bit culty. Because you know every person that has that shoe is rocking bloods.
See, religious views aside, I just think it's hilarious. Because... So, here's the thing. If you are the kind of person that over the last year and a bit has looked at Black Lives Matter and all these other social justice movements, the Pepe Le Pew thing with Disney, and all these other social rights things that have been going on, and you've been sitting there thinking, man, everyone's so fucking soft these days. You're going on your Facebook and being like, millennials are little snowflakes, they get outraged by all this bullshit and canceled everything, like cancel culture sucks, outrage culture sucks. And then this guy makes a troll-ass Satan shoe. And you are, I'm assuming you'd probably be religious if you care. And you're going on things saying, this is preposterous. How could we be making an exclusive shoe that's got devil, Satan, blood, magic, and all this disgusting things on it? This is terrible. Boycott Nike. You're an idiot. Because you are exactly what you're saying you hate.
You are who we laugh at.
You are literally getting outraged for something that is just a troll.
Yeah.
That is literally just like the biggest troll of the year so far. And honestly, he won't make any money. I know he made money. He sold out in a minute.
He makes money off of it.
But he probably won't. Big reason why the company that made the shoe, Mischief, put the Nike swish on it without Nike permission. They're getting sued out their fucking ass. They've already got, their lawsuits already started for trademark infringement. Well, you can't just do that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't fully understand the trademark thing, but I know different. There's different podcasters that their merch, they'll just throw like a Nike do whatever, and then they'll get sent a cease and desist, and you can't buy them anymore. They shut it down. They don't do it again. So, it's something where once you get the notice saying that you've got the copyright infringement, until you get that notice, technically you don't know. So you're able to do it. The second that they do it, you can't sell a single thing after.
See, my question would be, how does that affect with severity? How does that change? Because you're talking about a podcaster like us who's probably a little better than us, but say
one day us.
But I just mean some random people sitting in their basement or in their house or their studio or whatever. That's all I mean. Just some random dudes chatting, make merch, and they sell them. The question you have to ask: does that hurt Nike?
Well,
maybe.
Depends on the guy, because the person I'm talking about is Andrew Schultz. So he's got way more viewers than Lil Nas X, and he made a lot of money every time he does it.
Every time he
does it.
But is his merch, is it out of line? Is it inappropriate? Does it have the potential to upset people?
His podcast is called The Flagrant 2 because they say things that and nobody's allowed to say anymore. So and some of that stuff ends up on merch. But I digress. I agree with you that I think your point is Lil Nas X is promoting Satanism and saying Nike is down.
I guess.
So I hear what you're saying. I guess there is a difference.
I think the question is, because I think the thing with Nike, what they're suing, what I heard at least, was they're going after damages to their brand. Because people are literally saying boycott Nike after this, because this is like, in their opinion, that bad. I think it's stupid and literally a non-issue. It's only an issue because people are so ridiculous. But they're going after damages because they think this hurts their brand, to which I mean, I can understand. And they're also trying to get them to just like not make any money, zero, and like take any money they have made as well.
So the thing with Nike and how hypocritical and stupid this is that they had, I think it was probably 2 years ago now, when it was more than 2 years ago, but when Steph Curry left Nike to go to Under Armour, is because he wasn't allowed to put any scripture onto his shoe. For religious scripture, he couldn't put anything, whatever they call the Bible verses.
I thought he left because they couldn't get his name right.
I think that they were able to figure that one out.
I swear there's a story where the guy comes in and he, instead of calling him Stefan or Steph, he calls him Steven.
Oh. I hope that's the reason. That's the reason.
That's the story that I heard. That the guy called him Stephen Curry, and he was like, "You don't even know my fucking name."
I hope that's what it was. Because how big of a fuck up is that?
No, I swear to God, that's what I heard.
Okay, I hope it's that.
That guy took a serious L that day when he didn't know Steph Curry's name. He couldn't even call him Steph.
I really, really like that.
He called him Steven.
But the one that I heard, maybe this wasn't the reason he left, but it's something else. But I know that because I have some of my religious friends, they stopped wearing Nike because of that. And like a lot of religious people stopped wearing Nike specifically because they weren't allowing people to put scriptures on their shoes. So all the religious people, most of the religious people are already gone. And now that there's Satanism stuff, do you think that all the other ones are going to leave just the same? They're not there. These aren't your target fan base. The target fan base are the people buying these shoes. Because, Loki, these shoes are fire.
Are you serious?
I love them.
I think they look ugly as shit.
They look awesome. I like them. I'd wear the fuck out of them.
I think they're terribly ugly, but whatever. That's not the point.
But there's so many shoes that Nike puts out, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna pay this kid 7 cents every 3 days to make our shoes.
And maybe
but Lil Nas X put Satan on this. We want our money back. This is like, shut the fuck up.
My lady made a good point too. She's like, and then all the little like sweatshop worker kids that are in there making them, maybe they pricked their finger and there's some blood in that shoe too. You just don't know.
And that's what low key. Like I thought when I first saw it, I thought like Nike was a collaborator with it, and I'm like,
same.
I'm like, and that was the part where the blood, because I'm like, they definitely killed some kid. There was no volunteering your blood into this. There's a full on dead Chinese child.
It's like
in each sole of the shoe.
It's like when anytime you have like some kind of like factory produced thing, you have to bring in like, you know, like all of these logs or something, or all of this leather, and it's like to feed the product for each thing. Well, let's bring in this dead kid, and he's our blood source for the next 300 shoes.
Yeah, no, they didn't kill him. They just fucking bled him out over a pig stick.
Yeah, they don't kill him. They just bleed him out. Drop one, drop one, drop one.
Ah, fuck. We that shoe fell. We need a new one.
He's clotting on this finger. Let's get the next finger going.
Who are being polite saying they're choosing his finger. But, like, Nike, don't act like you're bigger than this. Don't act like Satan is the bad thing that's going on. You are fucking Satan. To these kids that make your shoes, you are the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Oh my god.
Stop trying to be the bigger person and then, oh no, we're friendly. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was hilarious. Like, I don't care if you're religious. If you can't just, like, look at this and be like, wow.
This just happened.
That's dumb. Then I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, you can. I'm not saying you can't think. I'm not buying that shoe. By all means, don't like the shoe. Don't want the shoe.
Yeah.
Don't buy the shoe. Don't buy Nike. I don't really care about that either. But if you're letting this intrinsically bother you, you're an idiot. It's a troll. This guy's fucking with you. And like, I saw one post that was like saying that Nike supports Satanism. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Satanism, but I don't think Satanism is what most people think it is. Like, people think of Satan, and you ask a religious person, and they'll be like, Satan represents evil. He's the devil. He represents everything that's wrong with humanity. Murder, rape, all the terrible things, right? Now, once again, I'm not an expert on Satanism, so I'm not going to be 100% accurate. But, like, I watched a video not too long ago of Satanists explaining what Satanism is. And it had nothing to do with being evil.
No.
It was more like, we just don't subscribe to the confines of religious, Catholic churches and stuff like that. Maybe not specifically the Catholic Church, but, like, we just don't believe in these controlled groups where people tell you what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
They were more like humanists, believing in yourself. They weren't trying to kill people or rape people. They weren't like that at all. So I don't think most people really even know what Satanism is. Not to mention, I don't think that had anything to do with it.
And, for me as well, I've never really thought of, because everybody talks about the devil is the worst guy. He's doing all this bad stuff. All he's doing, really, if you go down to it, he's a warden of a prison of the worst type of people. And all he's doing is punishing bad people. He's a good guy.
I mean, I don't know.
God's forgiving people when they ask for it and sending them up to the good place. And Satan's like, no, this guy fucked up. He's coming down here. I got to deal with this guy.
I'm not sure there's enough Bible verses out there to back your claim, but I see what you're saying.
Well, I could rewrite. If I write my own Bible, there's a new verse for it.
Kyle, chill.
But onwards and outwards, because I feel like we talk about this too long. I'm gonna say some things that people won't like. But
Kyle,
do you ever watch? Do you watch any MMA? Any fights?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the Ngannou and Stipe?
I saw the clips of it, the highlights of it. I watched him get knocked out and get folded.
My God. Okay, so Ngannou, Dana White. I don't know the exact stats because I'm not a statistician. I don't work for ESPN. I work out of a living room. So, Ngannou has the highest recorded punch in UFC history.
Does he?
You could watch when he punches. He clearly is that guy. But he's also he grew up he's homeless. Poor, really poor in Africa. Was in the mines as a kid, just
big man.
Crazy hard life. But he's a fucking monster, man. He started hitting Stipe, and oh my God, because the first fight that they had, Stipe won it, but it was because I think Francis was only in for 4 or 5 fights at that point, so he never really battled somebody at the same level as Stipe Miocic, who's I think he's has the most title defenses in the heavyweight ever.
Okay.
But so the first fight, basically, he kept clocking Stipe, but he took him down, and he took him down 3 or 4 times. And once he got him down there, he knew how to handle it. Okay. And you mitigate Francis's main power, his punches. This last fight, he went for the double leg takedown, and he stuffed it and pushed his head straight down. And right when you anybody that was paying attention beforehand, so when he did that, he was like, okay, this might be done. And then he quickly, you didn't watch, but he quickly transitioned to the backside and just started fucking feeding him lunch, as you say, underneath over and over and over. And I'm like, holy fuck, he's still going. And then he gets up, they go again, and he catches him a couple more times, kicks him square in the face. He's still going. And then, what I looked at it. The end of the fight, he clocked him. He was clearly about to be out. But Stipe Miocic, little backstory on him, He's a full-time firefighter as well. Like his side job is to be the heavyweight champion of the world, which is fucking unreal. And then I don't know if he was in the army or if he was actually Marines. I'm gonna go with Marines because it sounds better for the story. But I'm pretty sure he was in the Marines. So you can kind of see. He said he thought like his he was like really fucked up, and then he punches and he hits Francis once, and he just takes a step back. And according to him, he's like, "Oh, I thought I had him hurt, so I was gonna advance."
Yeah.
But from me watching it, it looked like a guy that knew he was about to go out and wasn't gonna go on his back foot. He wanted to push the pressure. He wanted to be on the attack. Like in anybody that's in war times or whatever, they would. I'm sure if you get into a battle, they're never gonna run away. They're gonna keep running until they can't run, so that they feel good about what they did. And I feel that's what he did. He wanted to stay physical, give himself a chance to win, and not sit back on it. That didn't happen. He kept going forward, and he got caught, buckled, and then it's everybody. Then the last hit, the big fucking hammer fist from the top. Everybody says, "Oh, that's unnecessary." The ref was behind him.
Yeah. So
the ref being behind, you have to go until the ref stops. Because earlier in the card, O'Malley, he was fighting, and he had clearly started the guy, and he's sitting there walking, but the ref didn't call it. So he had to just drop one more punch, and that's when the ref called it. So Francis, if he would have stayed back and Stipe woke up or got back up, that changes the fight, because now he knows, okay, this guy just took the hardest punch I have. Maybe I should try something new. So he had to throw that huge hammer fist. That clearly he was so knocked out he didn't even flinch. It hurt to watch. It's like, I like watching fights. I like seeing the technical, but that one, like the hits he was taking, it was like he has CTE fists. Like you don't come out of that the same way.
Real though, because like I saw a couple clips of the end there, and watching those shots, I'm just like, dude, this guy's strong. And like earlier that week, I had seen, maybe it was the day before, I don't remember what day it was. I had seen a video on Instagram. I follow this guy, Ryan Garcia. King Ryan. Yeah. Ryan Garcia's nice. This guy's got hands. He's a lightweight, but I rate him.
Yeah.
I don't usually rate fighters that are small. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't also kick my ass. I'm not saying I could fight a lightweight and ever win. That's not even close to what I'm saying. I'm just like, for what you do, you're still a little man's. You put him in with a big man's, you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That.
Ryan's nice. I rate him. But he does this thing. Have you ever seen his body shot challenge videos? These body shot challenge videos are for them. They're pretty lulls. When he does them with
YouTube
little YouTube stars, and basically he gives them a chest protector and he just feeds them body shots until these kids can't handle it.
Yeah.
But when he's going against these like I saw Tanner Fox did it. Tanner Fox is like 100 pounds. He's like 20 years old. He's a skinny little prick. And he just was almost in tears after the second shot. He tried to toughen up for it.
Yeah.
But I've even seen him go against bigger social media guys. I can't remember their names because they're not they're losers too. But
yeah, whatever, yeah.
But these guys at least look like they've been in the gym. And even them were like, oh, fuck. They took a couple, the first few, 4 or 5. Then after that, they start collapsing on it, too.
And, he's not just hitting you a couple times. He's hitting you, 50 times.
Yeah, it's bang, bang,
over
bang,
and over
bang,
and over
bang.
and over.
He's popping you for real. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Francis did it the other day. Yeah. Did you see that one?
The night before the fight.
That was the night before?
The day before,
This guy says... Is that it? Are you done?
He's laughing.
He's laughing. And Ryan's boom, boom, and he's
he hurt his hand.
And Francis is like, that's it, huh? You done?
Yeah. All I kept seeing was everybody's I knew how this was gonna go after watching this video. That dude's made of rock.
He's huge.
He's probably the scariest fucking person I've ever seen. Cause everybody I look at him how people probably looked at Mike Tyson, where Mike Tyson was just a small boulder, that you knew anytime he went anywhere, he could knock out anybody he was looking at. This guy is Mike Tyson if you also combine him with Hercules. Like, he's tall, he's thick, he's bigger than everybody he's going to meet, and he looks like he can take you out. So, and what's up?
I was going to say, one of our boys, John, he brought up a good point to me, though. How do you think it will go when the inevitable Jon Bones Jones fight comes that way?
If John can get him on the ground, there's a chance.
Well, I just Googled Francis right now because I forgot how much he weighed.
Yeah.
Do you know how much he weighs?
I think he weighed in at like 285.
Okay, they got him listed lighter than that. But that being said, this dude's a D lineman. 6'4". They're listing him on Wikipedia right here at 263.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah,
like we think of like
that's weigh-in night probably.
We think of like Ray Lewis, defensive icon, ferocious beast. He's like 245, 250. This guy's got like 20 pounds on Ray Lewis. This guy's a fucking beast. Now, Jon Jones is going to be moving up the division, I believe. How much are they listing him at? Because he's obviously going to be lighter.
225?
They're listing him on Wikipedia at 205.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, he'll be able to push himself to 225, but yeah, it's
huge difference.
Good. I don't want, like, the fight will be huge. It's going to be
it's going to sell like crazy.
It's going to sell like crazy, but I don't want it because it's going to tarnish Jon Jones' legacy.
You think he'll just get cooked that easily?
It's not going to be easy, but you're going. It's the same thing with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder when they fought the first time. Deontay Wilder, his thing was, I get it. Tyson Fury's better technically than me. He's probably a better boxer, but he has to be perfect all night. I have to be perfect once. If I catch him one time, I'm putting him to sleep. Whereas he has to catch me we have to go the entire time without me catching him once. That's what this is. Jon Jones has to be perfect. He makes one mistake, you don't survive that.
I'm getting fired up thinking about it. You're talking about it, and I'm sitting here like, ooh.
It's must watch. I want to see it happen for to actually just see it happen, but at the same time for Jon, that's a legacy killer. Jon Jones can go down right now as the greatest of all time. He'll have asterisks because of the fact that he was beating everybody while also partying his whole ass off, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a bad thing for that shows that he's not as good." It's like the fucking guy didn't even care. The guy was wilding every single night and knocking out the best of the best. He's clearly the greatest of all time right now.
The fact that his only loss is a DQ.
Yeah,
that's his only pro loss.
Yeah, and
that's terrifying.
There's he's probably the only human being that has a chance against Francis right now. Other than wrestlers. If Daniel Cormier was fighting Francis, there's a chance he wins if he takes him down and gets him down the entire time.
I was going to say, because he's young, I would say you'd have to just be superior technically.
Yeah.
Way technical. And
wrestling. That's it. And that's the thing is that you'd have to be a superior wrestler, but you have to also be wrestling a 265-pound man. So generally, if you're a great wrestler, you're probably a shorter guy. You're gonna be stocky, but you're not gonna be a 280-pounder because you would have been training to punch your entire life. You would have never trained to take people down like that.
See, the only reason I don't think he is as impervious as we're kind of building him up to be is because I remember when Brock Lesnar was the heavyweight champion.
We can't put these two in the same conversation.
Why?
Because Brock Lesnar has no punching ability, can't take a punch.
About? He's a fucking beast.
He's really big, but his thing was wrestling. He could throw people around, and then he was able to his wins against Frank Mir and
ground and pound, beat your face off.
He gets the wrestling, gets on top. He is the same size as Francis, but as a wrestler. So if they were to fight or something, there's a chance, but he can't take a punch. He also can't give that punch. If Brock Lesnar and anybody in the UFC is standing up, Brock Lesnar is losing. If he can get them on the ground, he has a chance to knock them out on the ground. He will never knock somebody out on foot. Somebody, meaning a professional fighter that is 250 plus pounds. Anybody else, you could probably knock him out. But, like, it's like when he fought Shane Carwin. Shane Carwin pieced the fuck out of him for a full, like, I think 3 minutes straight, beating the fuck out of him. And then he just got so tired that in the second round, he was able to take him down ground pound. Like, that's it. That's it. If it's a hand-to-hand thing, you can't compare Brock Lesnar and Francis because of the fact that they're the opposite skill set.
Okay, that's fair. I just think when you're that big, cardio can be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Cardio is an issue for any man that big.
Yeah.
A smaller man that's technical might be able to pull it off. Do I know who that guy is going to be? I have no fucking clue.
Only person is Jon Jones.
Because he looked fucking terrible.
Yeah, Jon Jones is the only.
Sorry,
human.
not terrible. Terrifying. That's what I meant to say.
But speaking of no stamina, the guy that's kind of that other people are talking about that's in the UFC heavyweights that's kind of knocking on the door of getting a title fight is Derek Lewis.
He's a big boy too.
He throws so
he's got a hilarious nickname too.
Yeah.
The Black Beast?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I sent in the group chats. That's his. Yeah. That's his Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that.
So funny. But he was on Rogan a couple weeks ago, and he's just talking about he doesn't give a fuck about being a professional athlete at all. He's doing it because he gets paid. Like he's like, yeah, I used to street fight, and this way I get money. And then he doesn't run, he doesn't train cardio, and he's like, yeah, I plan for getting it done within 2 rounds. The third round, it's gonna be tough. And Rogan's like, but if you get that championship bout, that's a 5-round fight. He's like, it's not gonna make it there. I'm either knocking them out or they're knocking me out. I'm not making it 5 rounds. I got no stamina. I'm not doing it.
Oh no.
So he just doesn't. So him and he's got unreal power, but I don't think he has he can withstand the kind of power that's coming from Francis. But yeah, stamina
It'd be a cool
issues,
fight to watch
big
too.
time. Yeah, that's the thing is that. It should be a cool fight, but they did fight before. So right after Francis lost to Stipe, him and Derek Lewis fought, and I think they had a total of 20 punches thrown. So Derek Lewis was super sick, right? Leading up to the fight, and was just not there. And everybody's pretty sure, and I think he came out publicly that Ngannou was in his own mind because of the fact that Stipe took everything he had and didn't get knocked out, that he was kind of hesitant and wasn't sure. He didn't want to get caught again, so he never put himself out there. And they basically just circled each other for 3 rounds, and Derek Lewis got the decision.
Wow.
So it was
a boring fight.
It was the worst fight in history. So everybody's like, if this happens again, they're clearly both going to come out swinging to make up for that shit. But
damn. That's so funny. I never saw
heavyweight divisions. It's popping again. But what do you want to jump to now? Let's talk to our sponsors.
You expressed your displeasure with this earlier before we started filming. Our lovely neighborhood, Bonnie Henry, put the clamps down.
The Queen is making her presence known
in British Columbia here. All the restaurants have all their indoor dining paused for the time being. We can still do a patio stuff, takeout, but no more in-house dining for a little bit. And I'm kind of like...
This motherfucker is trying to tell us what the fuck we can do again. And then they're even saying, oh, you shouldn't even have people outside anymore, and only the people that are in your house. Why the fuck would we hang out outside? What? You don't have to tell me I can hang out with the same people outside as I can inside. That's ridiculous. Just fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna pull out the other R word soon because this lady is pissing me off. But she shut down all the fitness areas, so any gyms they're shut down except for one-on-one training.
Do you know what I'm stoked about? I literally started a 2-year contract at Planet Fitness literally like a month before COVID started. And I've been fucked this whole time. Not like that's the reason I'm not working out. I'm just lazy. But
It's just a really good excuse.
But like, come on, man. That sucks. I can't even go to the gym.
You can't, like... But this is the thing. You can't do anything. Like, and then they're cutting, like, the indoor sports for adults. So, like, we can't fucking do anything. And then they're sitting out here, they're saying that the problem is the 20 to 39-year-olds, we're starting to spike and that we're the issue and we need to buckle it down because we're going to ruin it for the rest of these guys. It's like, we're going to fucking work. We're the only people doing shit. Like, you guys are up there fucking sending out notes to us. You get to work from home because you've been working at your job for whatever amount of time. We're gonna get sick, and then we're gonna go to work because that's what the fuck we do.
See, on one side, coming from your trades perspective, you are correct, and I imagine that demographic's probably the most resilient. When you're feeling sick, you like you said, you're the ones going to work anyway.
We're incentivized. We get paid extra if we don't call in sick. Like, we get more money for not missing days.
Yeah.
So we're not going to just be like, oh, I got the sniffles today. I'm going to take 2 weeks off.
Yeah. See, from a customer service perspective, that demographic is easily the most entitled, the most disrespectful, and the most unwilling to cooperate with the rules. And that's probably why that these rules happen. Because this demographic doesn't want to listen, they don't want to follow any of the rules, and they, quite frankly, don't give a fuck about any of it.
So, I hear that, but I don't understand how somebody could be like, okay, these guys don't listen to the rules, let's make more of them. These people still aren't going to listen. They're still going to do the same shit.
I guess the idea
That's
is
it.
like...
But now we can't do shit. Now 40-year-olds can't go to the fucking restaurant.
I guess the idea is if you pull the rules to here, most people will be here, and then you're going to have those people that really don't want to listen here. But if the rules are here, then those people that don't want to listen are here. So they've got to pull it all the way down to get the people that won't listen down to a respectable point.
I feel that, and at the beginning of the pandemic, when COVID first hit and it looked like everybody was about to die, like if anybody got it, they were gonna get sick, they were probably gonna die. I understood the lockdown. I understood shutting down everything for X amount of time. It's been over a year. They've shut down, opened up, and now they're gonna put the reins down. We're tired. We're tired of it. Nobody's gonna... If you keep trying to push us down, we're gonna... Like, everybody's gonna go against this. Especially, like, going back to religion, they were just... They're in the middle of mitigation or whatever with all the churches to be able to have, like, open service and worship. And right before Easter, they decide they're locking everything down. You can't be in the church. You think, like, the religious people are the most radical people on the face of the earth for as long as, like, humans have been around. You think they're gonna be like, oh, okay, you can take our Easter, like one of our biggest holidays of all times that we need to be in a church for. Nobody's gonna keep going with this. You keep hitting a dog, they're eventually gonna bite you back. You can't keep pushing people down and try and make us feel like we're not capable of making our own decisions, that we don't know what's best for us. And we aren't going to care about our family members or other people's family members, but you care more. While you're sitting there just talking to us, and you're probably going to your own fucking private restaurant because you can afford it.
Now, to continue playing devil's advocate, because you know how much I like to do this.
No, devil's the theme. I know you're big on the devil worship. This guy's actually a Satanist.
Here's your pause on that one. But anyways,
wait till you find out about his cult.
See, I hear what you're saying. Everyone's getting tired of it and all this stuff. And I'm not even going to defend the decisions being made because
you can't.
I'm not going to. That's not an argument.
No, nobody can.
I'm not willing to take on that argument, especially here.
That's a hard one to devil's advocate for. When you don't really believe in that one, that's hard to really come up with shit.
But like, okay, so the reasoning that they gave though was strictly on the numbers. We're almost at record setting for our region as far as the positive cases. Positive cases means people being hospitalized, which is also almost record-setting.
Positive cases just means you're positive. It doesn't mean you're hospitalized.
But they also mentioned people being hospitalized is going up through the roof right now. The reasoning behind the 3-week ban is so that if we are having exponential growth in cases and hospitalizations, 3 weeks of doing nothing could potentially curve that down versus allowing it to continue. You don't seem to like numbers.
No, I don't seem to. Didn't we do this already? Didn't we do this?
And then we chilled out and we let Christmas and everything else happen, and Christmas and New Year's didn't go well.
It didn't. I didn't see a spike in anything. Like,
of course there were spikes. What do you mean?
The small, like, if you look at the actual numbers, like their big thing is about the people like our age, 39 to 20 or whatever. There's been like 30 people, I think it was, that have died in BC between that range, but it's been, I think, 6 in the last month. So
you're talking about just deaths in that range?
Deaths, yes.
Okay, what about deaths in other ranges? Because we're not the ones dying, we're the ones spreading it.
I know, but that's what they're saying is that a lot of their things was that we were getting sick now, and that's the reason because these people are starting to get sick, blah, blah, blah. But it's not.
But the more we get sick, the more we spread it, though, because we're also still spreading it everywhere.
But who are we going to see?
Everybody, because like I said, no one gives a fuck in our age group.
Anytime that you're sick ever, you shouldn't go to work.
Anytime. I'm not saying that's true. But I'm just saying
this will be forever then, because
until vaccines come out, vaccines will be probably.
But you get the vaccine, you can still get COVID.
Technically,
yes, technically. So then, if you can get COVID, eventually that variant is going to change. And now next year, there's gonna be something. It's probably not gonna be the exact same, but it's always going to be around. So if every time there's a big spike, we can shut down everything.
Theoretically, when these variants appear, because we have, assuming everyone's vaccines, which won't be up for,
will never happen.
I mean, yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it'll never happen because there's more than enough anti-vaxxers in the world. Not everyone's ever going to get vaccinated, but theoretically, say COVID's under control next year. Say most people are vaccinated, the others are just chilling and dealing with their consequences if they ever get it at all. Who knows? Maybe they never get sick. That'll be someone's experience. That'll be 100 people's experience. They never took the vaccine and they never got COVID. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Now, assuming we're at that point in like a year, most people won't be in the hospital for COVID anymore. Thus, more resources can be allocated to just getting vaccines going for the new strains. Maybe because we already have this vaccine, the new strain isn't too different that we're able to change the vaccine and make the vaccine relevant for that as well. It'll be easier to control. So it's not like it'll ever go away, but once modern medicine has gotten a grip on it, modern medicine has gotten to this point in our human history to get us to this point where we can be sick and not worry about it. Hundreds of years ago, you get sick, you don't go to work because you're actually going to die. Yeah. But modern medicine is the reason we're here. So if you're going to discount modern medicine's ability to get this under control, you're probably being a little foolish there.
There's a chance to get it under control. There's also a chance that they keep doing this. Every time there's any little blip, okay, we need to shut this down. We need to take this away. There's also that chance, and that's the part that they've done. It's been, okay, it's going to be a 2-week lockdown. Okay, it's going to be this. Oh, we're almost done. Just stay inside. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then, I feel like most people have been doing it pretty okay. I don't, maybe there's been a lot of people that aren't. But
most people I know don't follow the rules.
I don't see the spikes, though. That's the thing. There's small spikes in cases. There's less spikes in the deaths. The cases are through the roof because people get tested. And, this whole virus is supposed to be the biggest spreading thing. It's going to spread to people. The
spreading is a problem. It's the hospitalizations that are more of an issue. Not necessarily because every hospitalization is a death, but every hospital, that's a hard word to say repetitively. Hospitalizations take up beds. Beds in hospitals being full, supply and demand, the people that really need them that might die, you don't necessarily know who they are because you don't necessarily know everyone's luck and medical history, but those people have a lower chance of getting into bed to get care when every bed is full by people maybe you got hospitalized, but you're not going to die from it. Yeah. You took up a bed from someone that might have, and now they died because they couldn't get a bed because you were in the hospital already.
That would be fair if that was happening.
It is happening.
The hospitals aren't full. They are not full.
They're not full anymore, but the spikes are going up and they're heading in that direction because of our behavior.
Okay, you keep saying heading in that direction.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
They literally just released today that hospitalizations were spiking at an exponential rate.
Yes. They have been every time there's there's going to be a spike. That doesn't mean that the whole hospital's full.
That doesn't mean the whole hospital's full, but when you're charting a graph and you're following a graph, the spikes go up if they keep going up, like when COVID first started. When COVID first started, we started with a little spike, and that spike kept going and going and going and going. That's when the problems happen. So when do you pull the trigger? Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying they're doing the right thing at the right moment, but when would you pull the trigger?
I wouldn't.
You'd never pull the trigger.
No. I would have done what they did at the beginning. I agree with what they did at the beginning.
How do you know that won't happen again, though? I don't think any of us really know.
Because the entire idea of it is the type of people that are getting sick. Like, you can get sick, get over it, and you start building the immunity. Some people will get sick, and some people will die. Wearing the masks, keeping, like, distance and certain things, like how the restaurants, like, how they have it with you have to take your seat, this is your table for the night. You can't move, you can't do that. That's due diligence. Having the mask anytime you move around. That's due diligence. Having masks inside all these places. Going above that is just that's basically saying nobody can be trusted. Nobody can be trusted to do the right thing. When I don't believe that's fair. The people that aren't to be trusted, they can be chastised by the people. Like, if you see a guy that's clearly not wearing a mask going into all these places, you can, like, kind of do the same thing as a bar watch. Have his face at the Walmart saying, this guy, we don't allow him in our store for this reason. Like, I think that's fair because he's doing something specifically to go against what's best for everybody else.
See,
but shutting down restaurants,
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
That's actually policing the problem.
I would love
right
that.
now, what they're doing is they throw a blanket and say that it cannot be trusted and restaurants can't run it because nobody is capable of doing this. And that's where I take it personally, because that's basically saying anybody that's like us can't handle the responsibility of not getting old people sick and not getting other people contaminated.
So the other thing that this kind of reminds me of is it draws parallels to my time on the football field. When one person is late, we all get punished. In the same kind of fashion, despite most of us doing enough to stay healthy and keep our loved ones healthy and at least follow the rules to a degree that we're accepted by society, there are some that aren't. Now, in this football setting, if one person's late, everyone on the team that's getting punished for them being late is throwing shit at that person that was late, calling him a fucking idiot, and you better be on time or I'll slap the shit out of you. We hold ourselves accountable. In our society today, I would say, yeah, every now and then somebody gets held accountable. Maybe they get pushed out of a store. Maybe everyone's like, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you here, or something like that. But more often than not, when people aren't following the rules, like when I see, a bunch of people I know went to Vancouver this weekend and went to a bar or something. Is that following the rules? Of course it's not. Who are you lying to?
Yeah.
Like, you're not fooling anybody. But am I going on there and be like, how dare you go to the bar? I fucking work in a bar. Everyone I talk to in the day is breaking the rules, because I can promise, the one thing that they say, it's kind of funny they say this, you can't go to a restaurant with anyone but your household. Do you think I could police if everyone you were at the bar with went to your house? What if you're college kids and your parents, you live all together, but your parents, you'll have your parents' address on your license? What am I gonna look at your license, see 5 different addresses, and be like, "Oh, you don't work together, you don't live together"? How would I know? I can't police that. But like, who are you lying to? I know you guys don't live together because you were also with them, and then last week you were with them, and the day before you were with them. You've been hanging out with, you live with 30 people? I don't think so. So, like, people, there's so many people breaking the rules on a consistent basis, and most of us don't bat an eye because we don't really care. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. I'm not saying this is the key, but I think the philosophy is kind of where they're getting their logic from. I don't know how applicable it is. I'm not the scientist on the ground floor doing everything. I'm not in the front lines, but I get it to a degree. But I am also just as unhappy as most people. I'm not enjoying this by any means. I don't want to do this. I'm basically at the point where I just accept what it is for what it is. And I think I'll reserve most of my judgment on how they're handling it once we can say COVID's done. Once we can say COVID's done, I will look back and think to myself, this is where they fucked up and this is where things could have been better. But until we're out of this shit, we could say, I'm tired of this. But we don't know if it's done until it's done. That's at least where I sit.
Honestly, I can see where you're coming from, but it's also if we weren't hearing about it in the news and we weren't seeing it on TV all the time, I would have no idea COVID was real. Like I haven't seen a single person that's had a relative. Well, I guess your
my parents
mom's,
got it because they didn't follow the rules either.
And were they okay?
I mean, yeah.
I think they were pretty fine.
They were fine.
So when they got it, they went and they quarantined for it, right?
Yeah.
So somebody that didn't follow the rules had something happen to them, and then they were like, okay, well now I'm sick. Now these rules are actually applicable to me.
But does that discount hundreds of thousands of deaths?
Do I think that they were gonna die either way? Yes.
They could have.
Yes, I think for most of them, they were probably gonna die either way because of the type of disease it was. I'm not saying it's not real, because I'm saying, like, if I didn't see the TV, I wouldn't know anything about it because it's never affected anything in my life. I know that there's more than just my life. I don't really agree with that, but but like I don't like blanket statements. I don't like them throwing a blanket on saying this is the rules for everybody. Because your football analogy, I agree with it, but also you could leave that team if you don't agree with the punishment that you got and that you're on time, you're early every single day, and the same guy's late every single time, and you getting shit, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He doesn't get kicked out of the team.
Yeah, you can decide to leave the team.
Yeah, or they could kick that kid away.
Yeah,
like, you're late every day. Fuck you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That guy's not getting kicked out. He's getting the exact same punishment as you are.
He's getting clout on Instagram for showing the man.
Yeah,
and getting followers and shit.
But these rules, they get put down. And if we don't agree with it, there's nothing we can do. It's because the rule on everybody. It's not something where we can just we can't even leave Canada to be like, oh no, I don't agree with Canada's rules. Leave. That's shut down.
Yeah.
So there's no escaping it, and that's where I don't agree with somebody telling every single person they have to follow the exact same rules.
That's a fair reason. You have every right to feel like that. One thing I think is funny is I saw a graphic the other day. I'm not going to put any suggestions on what they might be implying. I'll leave that to you. But basically, it was like deaths per million. So right away, it is a ratio thing.
Yeah.
Now, it showed like Spanish flu, big spike. Not many people in the world. A lot of people died.
Yeah. Now
we have ding up to COVID. Not such a big spike. Conclusion, COVID's not a big deal. But, like, we still have more people dying. If we looked at how many people died, COVID's way bigger. But if it's per million, well, there's billions of people on this earth now. So is it because we have billions of people, 100 million people don't matter, versus if we only had so many people, let's say half that, 100 million people is twice as important, twice as much of a percentage. Yeah. That's more valuable. I just see 100,000 people dead. 100 million people dead. That's what I see. Is that good? It's a lot of people to die.
Mine isn't that is it good or is it bad? It's the same thing. Spanish flu was bad. And that's the part that people they're like, oh, the Spanish flu was like this, but COVID's like this. It's like Spanish flu was also bad. Like It wasn't like it was just the regular flu. It was the same idea. It was a pandemic. People had to wear masks. They had crude, fucking scary looking masks back then, but they had to wear masks. So, like, but that's the part that, the percentages is the part that I look at, because you can look at the numbers, but, like, I don't know, I didn't look at it, but I'm assuming, because babies are being born every day still, the population of Earth, I'd assume, is probably around the same. Of how many have died, how many have been born. I'd assume it's probably around the same as before COVID started. So I don't know where I was going with that point. That one popped in my head, and I'm not sure where it came from. It was on the left side, and I was thinking on the right. I don't know where that came from or why. But yeah, when you look at just the straight numbers, and even if you don't like the idea of it, a lot of people have died, and it's terrible. The disease is super contagious, and it hits people fast. If you are gonna get sick from it, it's not gonna be something where it slowly starts getting you, and then the doctors have time to treat it. If it gets you, it's getting you immediately, and you're gonna die faster than most diseases, and it's transmitting so fast. So the fact that like so many people have gotten it and have died is because of that. But the fact that the vast majority of people don't die that get it, that's something where it should be looked at as a kind of a positive thing. And that's where I never understood why they didn't advocate for more testing, because like what we've had, you want to go get a test. If you have like a tickle in your throat or whatever, you want to go get a test. You get there, you have to write down that you have an actual symptom.
Yeah, you have to say you do, even if you don't.
Or if you're working, if I'm sitting here beside you and you call me tomorrow, hey, turns out I have COVID. If I want to go get tested, I can't just say I was near somebody that had COVID. You can't get the test. You have to check off that you had some kind of symptom.
Yeah, my throat hurt today.
My biggest,
it, though?
Yeah, exactly.
Did it?
I've had 2 tests. They weren't. I didn't check off the same thing.
I've had 2 tests. I haven't felt sick at all.
No, but the big thing that I thought right off the bat is test everybody, because the whole idea of the disease is how contagious it is. How people going in for tests, like how they're doing with the vaccine rollout. They're getting the 85-year-olds and the 80s and 75, whatever. Have that for the testing. Get everybody tested as many people as possible, and then restart that cycle if COVID's still going. So then you have an actual grasp on the real numbers.
How many people had it?
Because all the numbers that we have, there's a vast majority of people that have never went tested, and probably a lot of people that had COVID that was asymptomatic that never got tested. So we don't have the true numbers either.
It makes me wonder, because like when you say that, I think that's a good idea, because you kind of get like the clean sweep. You sweep everybody right away, find out who has it, who doesn't, and then you try and close in on the problem. But like, then I start thinking about more logistical things, like how many resources does that take? What is the cost to test every single person in this country, let alone in America? Because they got way more people in America. Yeah. How much money does it cost to test every single one of them? How many have we tested in total compared to our population? Because like, I have 2 tests. If you have 2 tests, we're 4 people, when we could have just been 1. So how does that line up? I'd have to look at more numbers to actually have a better idea of that. But I'm just starting to think of like that. Like, why couldn't we do that unless it was like super expensive? I guess I'm not sure, but
I feel that I would agree. But then they had the CERB where everybody's getting $1,400. They've been handing out money throughout the entire time. Yeah, I haven't got shit because I had to go to work.
What the fuck is that, Canada? Send me some
money. Instead of getting money, I go to work and get shit on for being the fucking out there working.
For real.
But and then like the states, they've spent like they printed off like trillions of dollars to pay people for all this stuff. They've shut down small businesses. There's like everything has taken a hit. Restaurants, blah blah blah. That amount of money could have been spent on actually fixing the problem, because you do that first sweep of everybody. You see what those numbers look like. You come up with your plan of attack. You do the next sweep. If it's increasing, now you can actually show me by numbers that, hey, we did our due diligence here. It's getting worse. We need to do more. And then they put those new restrictions in for whatever amount of time. Then they sweep again. If it's dropping down, now we can make. But you have the actual true numbers. When you just have made up fairy tale numbers of only people that you allow to get tested or allowed to get tested, I can't get on board unless it's 100%.
Can you imagine a world where, now this might be some Black Mirror shit.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in now. You thought I was engaged.
Can you imagine a world where every day you leave the house, you have to like prick your finger on the wall, and it'll take your quick blood, and it'll like put your basically like a health check into the system.
That's what that movie that's being made with the guy from Riverdale. It's based off.
Oh, is that literally it? Well, I'm not creative, I guess.
No, you are very creative because they came up with it, but that's basically like I'm not at that exact same level, but every conspiracy theorist and person that's worried about this is thinking that, because every time that it like, oh, we're almost there, vaccine's about to, vaccine's gonna be, we're gonna have to slow down, something went wrong, we're gonna have to adjust this, we're gonna have more restrictions here, more restrictions there, everybody needs to have a vaccine to travel here, to go to here, blah blah blah. So they're making every single rule as it goes down. So they're worried that eventually it gets to the point where you aren't allowed to do anything unless you tell the government basically that you're okay, that you're allowed to do it. And now, at that point, they can use that blood. Like conspiracy-wise, they could use it for anything they want. They want to make frog people. They want to make lizard people. They want to make a clone.
Am I mad at even that? Am I even mad at that though? Like frog people, I'd be like, yo, this guy would be so nice at basketball. Yo, man's got hops, bro.
Somebody shoots. Get over here.
He keeps licking the ball. This is weird. I thought we were supposed to be germ free. Why is he just licking shit?
He's the pickiest slims food.
But no. Okay, but think of, so obviously I'm not, for government surveillance. Let's be clarified here. I'm not saying I want to live in a world where I'm being watched all the time. I'm just saying...
We already kind of are, but...
Yeah, kind of. It's not like I always say just like...
We are also broadcasting all of our ideas.
Send my reports. I don't give a fuck. If it helps them, it helps them. I'm a nice guy like that, Anyways, but I just think, wouldn't it be funny to see like stats like... Let's say it was like more intrusive. Like, let's dial this to 1 million and say they have a heart monitor on me at all times. On every single person, our heart is just in the system, and they can see when we're exerted, when we're sleeping, when we're calm, when we're just living our day-to-day lives, and they can tell if we get sick, even the slightest bit. Think of the stats where it's like someone's sitting at a computer reading numbers and looking at charts and like 12% of the population is having sex at this very moment. Like, that would be so funny to me.
Yeah.
I just think that would be such a interesting, fascinating thing to just see real numbers like that. Because, like, those are things that scientists dream of. Getting just all of this raw data all the time. It's just hella intrusive and obviously, like, not cool, but still.
Yeah, like, to your level, because you're talking about actually getting the fitness, but, like, that's the idea with, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm sure, like, all the porn sites, they see when the high traffic shows up, so they know when they're going to be advertising it on things, when they're going to send out those random DMs with a fake person on Instagram, and it's like, okay, this is the time that people are generally going to jerk it, so they're going to throw it in there. So, like, all those stats are kind of being kept, but the idea is that it's private companies are doing it, which, like, that's why the government has been trying to crack down on it, is because they want in. They want the numbers too.
Everything, Instagram knows when you're horny, Kyle. It knows when to send you those group messages with like 60 people. Check me out on cams.
Hi, babe.
It just knows. It can tell. It's like,
speaking in like the SpongeBob text with like capital, lowercase, capital, lowercase.
They're like, wait, Kyle seems to go incognito around 7:30, 7:35 every day. They're like, he's only there for like 10-15 minutes. I bet that's when we'll send him a message. Anyways, so that's how we feel about COVID.
Yeah. So,
Kyle.
I'm a little bit of a tinfoil hat kind of guy, but...
Basketball. Holy shit.
Remember when we were discussing whether or not Brooklyn was a super team? They're
picking up slugs, though. Do you think these guys still have it?
No. Blake Griffin finessed the fuck out of this league.
Well, I told you Blake was better than Chris Paul.
He got injured. Yeah, you're still wrong. But he got injured and then gets traded to Detroit, and he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what it takes, but I'm getting
the fuck out of here.
I think he didn't even dunk. like the last year and a half. Like that's all. Like
a year and a half of tanking to get traded.
Just layups, and then he gets traded to Brooklyn. That's his first play. He gets a dunk down the middle, and then he gets an alley-oop from James Harden. And
Blake's back, baby.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, blah blah blah, and then like he had a funny tweet. He's like, It's funny that everybody's saying that like we're a super team now. I've been told I suck for the last 2 years. But like Blake Griffin's gonna be big for them. He's another scorer. He should. I hope he's coming off the bench because
I hope not, because I thought I was slick by signing him on free agency.
Yeah,
I thought I was nice.
You stole him from me before I could get him. But yeah,
I thought I was nice.
He's gonna come off the bench, but he's gonna be their scorer off the bench because he's gonna be. He's not a big rebounder. He's not great at defense. He's a good playmaker, good scorer.
And what do you think about them adding LaMarcus?
He's if you need a bucket down low, like if he has a mismatch, that's gonna be his thing. He's gonna rebound, and he's not gonna be the All-Star. He's not gonna really show up at all. He's gonna be a little bit like Marc Gasol.
I think he's kind of like an old waste man at this point.
He's very capable still because he's also going to be hungry. He's never had an opportunity to make it to the finals, let alone opportunity to win the finals.
And he has experience out his ass.
Yeah,
he's been playing. He's been playing at a high level for a while. Too.
Yeah, he just spent the time in San Antonio's system. So you get to see the high class. Obviously he was at the drop end of San Antonio. Then he played with Damian Lillard for a little bit. He played with Greg Oden and Brandon. He's played with great players as well, so he knows how to be that second guy. This team, maybe fifth guy, maybe even sixth guy, depending on who's on the court.
Kyle, but I have to tell you, I have to say the take first because I want it to be my take and not your take.
Okay.
None of that matters because the Lakers just signed up their next ring. The Lakers just signed up their next ring, Kyle. The Lakers were winning it all this year. I'm saying it. I know. I'm gonna say you heard it here. You heard it here first. No one said that yet.
I've been saying this for 2 years.
But
Andre Drummond is a huge signing.
That's not fair. That really isn't fair.
He's been my favorite big man. That's disappointed me.
Kyle's
the last
lying. He's
5
a bandwagon
years.
jumper. He's been my favorite.
You don't even know who he is. But no, because he came in. Okay, let's talk about it. He came into the league. The whole fight against him was that he didn't care about the game. He didn't have the enthusiasm for it. So he came out and he was averaging 17 rebounds, 17. He's the only true rebounding big man that's still in the league. That's rebounds, blocks. That's his game. The thing that has caught him the last 3-4 years is that he got the Dwight Howard syndrome, where you're the big man. You're the all-star on your team. You now think that you can score. You think that you can create for yourself. You have post moves. You have all this stuff. That's not your game. You set picks. You catch lobs. You play defense. That is what you're spectacular at. You change that up at all. Now you look like you're the reason that your team's losing. So he's clearly gonna get put in his place once he gets there. Because LeBron, if you play that shit, you're just not gonna play. He's in charge. So
LeBron is in charge.
Especially once he's paired up, when Anthony Davis comes back, you put Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond. Davis can go on anybody at any point, and if that guy beats him, Drummond's sitting there. He's trigger happy on the jump a little bit, but they got enough read and react, and they've got a good team. They've got depth. We're talking about these two as if Montrezl Harrell isn't there. Since Davis has been out and then James is out, he's been their primary point getter. He was a 6th man of the year runner-up last year.
How do you think Drummond fits into the lineup? Is he starter? Is he off the bench? Does he start center and push Davis to power forward?
He's depends on the matchup. If they're playing if they're playing Denver, I could see him coming off the bench because
they want a big man out there at all times.
Well, they need a big man out there at all times, but they also need Davis on Jokic, and then they're Denver plays. That's also my not so dark horse to be the only team that I see that can actually take out the Lakers is Denver, because they've got Nikola Jokic he's a video game character. Because, like, like, anybody that's played 2K when you're younger, you put on easy mode, you create your guy, you make a 7 foot, 350-pound point guard that has a 99 3-point rating, and like you make him, he doesn't look natural. That's what this guy is. He's getting triple doubles like they're nothing. He can score from the inside, outside. He's not overly athletic. He's a big guy, but he makes unreal passes. He's a rebounder, and he's efficient. So he's playing at the highest level you could possibly play. He's also got Jamal Murray, who's capable of going off for 50s. Not 50-point games, 50s. Like 50-point games in a row, back to back to back to back to back, if he needs to. You also add in Michael Porter Jr., who they got in the draft a couple years ago. He dropped because he was injured. They took a flyer on him. He's paying off. He could be he's their big three. But then a pickup that people aren't really talking about as much as they should be, Aaron Gordon, coming from Orlando Magic, coming over to Denver, power forward.
That's nice.
He's a huge pickup because people don't think about him as much because he's been told to be the guy in Orlando. He's not that guy. He's not the top echelon of All-Stars right now. But he is a gifted athlete, as we've seen in all his dunks, and that's he changed his jersey number to 50 because he's got a mini doc coming out. Everybody's got a fucking mini doc. But because he has the most 50s in dunk contest history and has 0 wins. Because he gets fucking... I almost said it. He gets dipped on every single... It's
bullshit.
Real bad. We'll see on the doc how bad it is. But he's coming over. He's a great defender. He's like, I think 6'9", 2 something. He's a basketball player. So he's 6'9", 2 something. That's everybody. But he's fast enough and young enough to guard everybody. He's not going to be demanding of the ball because he's just showed he knows what he can do when he's the only person in the ball. Now he has 2 to 3 guys that are kind of the main offense, and he's going to have space. He's going to have space to make those dunks, to make those cuts that he never had before. And he's got a decent outside shot. So Denver Nuggets are a deep team, and they've got possibly the best 1-2 punch in the league. That's like going with LeBron, Anthony Davis, going with like what Brooklyn's got, the 1-2-3 punch.
Do you think Portland did enough to push them further in the playoffs?
Portland is my like kind of.
I'm Dame all the time. That's where I'm at.
They're guilty pleasure because it's like
you love it.
You love it. You want them to so bad, but like my dream is that Portland somehow just don't change anything. You just pluck up Giannis and drop him in.
Yo,
that's the best team in the league. That's Kobe Shaq. That's the best. That's a dynasty. If you just were able to figure out a way to get that happen, but without a player of like that caliber coming there, it's still coming down to Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. They can put up buckets. They've proven that they can get to the dance. But this is the league. The league isn't how it used to be. It used to be centers, point guards, centers, shooting guards. It's now power forwards, small forwards, forwards. They call them. They can do everything, and they're 6'10". That without those players, it's hard to really. Without one of those players being your best player, because they have Carmelo Anthony, but he's not prime Carmelo anymore.
No, he's not young Melo.
He's a good player, but he's not the top dog anymore. The league is too hard to win with your point guard being the best player on the court, and his second guy also being a guard. You need a Kevin Durant, a Kawhi Leonard, a Paul George, a LeBron James. You need those guys to make that to really push you to the promised land. And Portland's going to knock one of them out. They're going to knock somebody big out again because that's what they do.
I love to see it.
Damian Lillard is a legend killer. He's a legend killer, and he destroys dynasties before they start.
He just like ruins people's
Like
day.
James Harden and Dwight Howard, they're the big show. They're blah blah blah. Eliminate. Then Paul George, he comes out with OKC. Eliminate. That's what he does. He kills people. He kills them, and then they have to leave. They have to leave their towns. They can't even play. They can't even show up to practice facilities the next week. He does them that dirty.
Oh no!
So he's gonna eliminate somebody, and he's gonna change a team's future every single playoff he's in. Because I'm gonna say right now, he's the clutchest basketball player in NBA history. He has some of the biggest shots there's ever been, and he's consistently great in the fourth quarter. So he's gonna eliminate somebody, but he's not making it. He's not making it in the 7-game series against the Lakers at Denver.
I love Dame Dollar. One more thing I wanted to make sure we told the people. We did those All-Star teams, and Kyle lost by 20. Just saying.
The first time on rookie.
Start covering the mic. Kyle, don't
the first time on rookie, he fucked me up, and I had to reflect on myself. I had to decide if I was gonna.
For losing on default settings was it's not on a harder difficulty setting. Kyle, you couldn't even score on an easy difficulty setting.
No, it was legitimately like I lost, and I had to sit at home and reflect on it. Like, how the fuck did that just happen? And then when I came back, I realized that I had a different shot meter than I normally use. The default one isn't the one because you can change it back to NBA 2K20. After that, I waxed them over and over. But
chill.
But no, I was that night. I was kind of deciding whether it was the gun or the knife. I wasn't quite sure.
I don't usually beat Kyle at basketball, so the fact
no, he doesn't beat me.
The fact that I got to ruin that night at least once,
yeah,
it was worth it.
It was tough.
Anyways, I think that's all we got for today.
But yeah, so we've clearly had some video issues, but the last two are uploading now. But this one will be coming out, and the
last two will be ready before this one comes out.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess that's true. But hopefully you guys stuck with us, and yeah,
it's a little drought there, but
we're gonna keep it coming. We're not gone.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
You know, I say that wouldn't it be so funny if this video didn't work out.
I'd shoot myself in the fucking head.
Anyways, that's it. Thanks for paying attention. Anyways, peace
out.